We're going to add some shaders to our program which will be used for all of our drawing and everything else. So the standard GLSL shaders. First thing we must do is add the NGL shader manager to our file here, and this is a singleton class again because we only want one shader manager. So NGL shader manager star shader equals NGL shader manager instance, and we're going to start by create empty create shader program. Then we're going to load shader sources. We're then going to compile, and then we're going to link, and then finally we're going to use. So first we need to create an empty shader program. So shader pointed to create shader program. This just takes in the string, which is the name of the shader we'll be using. So I'm going to call it blin. There. Next we need to shader attach a shader. This takes two parameters. The first is the name of the shader. The second is the type of shader. So we're going to call this one vertex. So it's our vertex shader, and this is going to be an NGL vertex shader. We are then going to attach another shader, and this is going to be called fragment, and it's going to be an NGL fragment. So we've created now two shaders. What we want to do now is to load the shader source to both of these. So shader pointed to load shader source. So to our vertex we are going to add, now in this case if we look at our programs here, our executable is in bin, Qt and NGL, and our shaders are in the directory shaders here. So it's going to be relative slash shaders slash, and the first one is going to be this vertex.vs. Vertex.vs. Now we're going to do exactly the same, but we're going to add to fragment, and that's going to be, in this case, fragment.fs. So that's our vertex shader here, and our fragment shader here, but we're going to load in. Now that we've loaded them in, we need to compile both the shaders. Shader pointed to compile shader takes one parameter, which one to do, so vertex shader pointed to compile a shader fragment, like that. That's going to compile them. Now we need to attach the shader to the program. So shader pointed to attach shader to program. The first parameter is the program we want to attach to, so blin, and we're going to vertex to our program. Shader attach shader to program. Program is blin and fragment. So the two shaders that we've created, we've loaded the shader source, we've compiled both the shaders. Now we're attaching those to our shader program. Finally, we're going to link these. So shader pointed to link program object blin, and then finally we're going to set this to our active shader. There's two ways around doing this. We can either say shader, whatever shader's pointed to, blin, and use the overloaded index array operator, which will look for that, use, or we can say shader pointed to use shader and pass in the name. There's multiple legacy ways of doing this at the moment. So if I compile that and run it, what this is going to do is to hopefully load the shader. Just run that, and it's created it, and it's saying file not found /shaders vertex with .vs. So I've done something wrong. Vertex.vs. Have I set my projects correct directory? Edit ls shaders vertex.vs bin yes /shaders vertex.vs file not found. Not sure why that's not working. I do, because it's relative to where the program's running. I had the wrong directory, so it's designed to be run, and now it's loaded in, compiled and linked. So next we want to set some of the parameters for the shader. So the first thing we're going to do is to look at the shader here. So we've got our vertex.vs, we have a projection matrix, we have a view matrix, and we have a model matrix, which get combined together, and the current GL vertex is multiplied by that to give us our final output. So we need to set some of these parameters from the camera, and then we need to also set color later, which we will investigate. So first, view matrix, model matrix and projection matrix are all coming at present from our camera. So we are going to go into the resize GL. We are going to NGL shader manager, star shader equals NGL shader manager instance, grab an instance of the shader manager. We are going to make sure that we're using the correct shader. So again, we'll go shader blin pointed to use, so that's now being used, and we now want to set shader parameter from matrix. We want to know the name of the shader first, blin. We want to know the name of the parameter in the shader we want to set. So again, if we look at our vertex shader here, what we want to set is first the projection matrix. So the projection matrix is there, and we want to set this from M camera pointed to get projection, like that. Now at present that's the projection that we set in the main window when the camera was created. What we really want to do is to say M camera pointed to set shape. The view angle we'll keep at 45, but we want to take into account the aspect ratio now of our window that's been created here. So we're going to do a float of underscore width divided by underscore height. Then we'll set our near 0.1, I think we had set up here, 0.1 and 300. So near and far, and it's an NGL perspective camera. So that's set the projection matrix for the camera. The next thing we're going to do is a similar thing, but we're going to do that in the drawer. So we're going to cut and paste that bit of code there, and before we do our drawing here, we're going to set now our model matrix, which is our view matrix here, which is basically the camera view. So the view matrix there, and the camera has a method called get, and in this case it's actually called model view. Is a bit of a misnomer, but this is a legacy from the immediate mode OpenGL stuff. In the later version of the camera, when I upgrade next year, this will just be called get view matrix. So if I run this now, with a bit of luck we should be viewing our teapot from the perspective of the camera, and something hasn't worked. which means I'm going to have to investigate what I haven't set. So I've set my view matrix. Oh, I haven't set my model matrix. So what I'm going to do is create a very simple NGL. What I'll do is to actually go back to glwindow.h, getting slightly ahead of ourselves here, but sometimes the way things work, unfortunately, with the graphic style programming, that you need to set up quite a few things. So what I'm going to do is to create an NGL transform stack there, and this is going to be our main transformation for our objects, and brief our transform for objects, and I'm going to create an NGL transformation stack m transform stack there. And now what I need to do is to load the transform stack matrix to our shader as well, because at the moment set shader parameter from matrix. Actually, we can do it from the transform stack to make it even easier. The transform stack has got an overloaded function in it, which if I get m transform stack pointed to dot load current global and current matrix to shader. This takes a number of parameters, so in this case I want blin, which is my shader. I want to load, in this case, my model matrix, and you'll see there's an active matrix which is normal, which in this case is what we need. So I'm hoping now we should see a teapot, but we may need to also set the color parameter for the shader, which at present I haven't done either. Yes, here we go. So now you can see that we're viewing from 222. The default color is white, and we've got a basic wireframe teapot. So I'm going to stop that there. Next we're going to start wiring up some of the controls from Qt to NGL.